Hello. I thought I would come on today to talk about one of my favorite albums of all time, uh, which I've got here on record. The first Glass Beach album. I absolutely adore this album so very much. It is one of my top favorites ever, and I haven't actually sat down to have a proper look at the record because I got it recently and I got it secondhand from Discogs. And I haven't had a proper time to sit down and just, you know, engage with this release properly because there's a lot of effort that's been put into this gatefold, it looks like. The design is absolutely beautiful. And I just, I love this album. It's a really great album. So I thought I'd come on and talk about it for a bit because, yeah, I've listened to it quite a lot. Um, I listened to it near to when it came out back in 2019, I believe, and it was one of the albums that I really got into when I first started getting into music, along with other ones like Twin Fantasy, which I'll talk about another day. But my thoughts are way too many to compress at the moment for that. But yeah, this is one of my absolute favorites, and I thought I'd talk about it because I know in the queer community this is quite a highly regarded album. Oh, hang on, my laptop might be dying. Oh, never mind, whatever. I can't find the charger. Not that I tried very hard, but this is one of my yeah. This is a very big album within the you know queer community, and I thought I'd talk a bit about it. Because it's not very uncommon to find this in people's favorites, but I thought I might as well. And yeah, I think it came at a very opportune point in my life. Angsty teen emo music kind of goes well together. But I think one of the things about Jay's writing is that she can write such brilliant lyrics that are so specific. Um, and you can tell that she very clearly wears her inspirations on the sleeve um, through things like Black Parade, Twin Fantasy, things like that. You can very clearly tell. But there's so many influences and absolutely genius instrumentation, honestly, throughout the whole thing. It's just like it's such a beautiful just range of ideas and complex, like even like jazz moments and stuff mixed in with the emo rock that really just blows you away when you listen to it. And I think it's got some really interesting song talks as well. And I thought I'd just go through a couple of these. Like Classic J Dies and Goes to Hell is always just one that always feels like a Christmas song to me. Maybe it's the trumpets and the sort of like the chord progression feels very like magical. It feels for some reason I keep thinking of like when Disney films open with the like castle. I don't know what the song was called, but it's like, when it comes in with the castle and like the shooting star thing. Not a great comparison considering how terrible Disney is as a company, but like I feel like it gives that sort of like childhood like magic type feel. And that track has such an insane ending to it that blew me away when I first listened. Um, the way they have you holding on with that when the drums are just being slammed. Oh, I love it. It's great. And then resolving at the end though is so fun. It's such a great way to um end a track. And going through the lyrics is um like they're so like strangely relatable yet hyper specific, I feel like sometimes. Bedroom Community is a very beautiful track um, that I think a lot of people can resonate with. Um, yeah, I think that's one of their biggest songs, I believe, and rightfully so, because of its lyrical content. And I think it's more of a straightforward sort of like rock type song. And even then, when they tried to do something relatively straightforward, it still got barrels of personality I absolutely adore. Um, and coming through after that with Forever, and these are part of the like sort of instrumental tracks that you can find on the album, the bracketed tracks, which I don't know why, but that syntax of bracketing the instrumental tracks is absolutely I've fallen in love with it. I haven't seen anybody do it like that before, and I really enjoy. I don't even know why specifically. It's just fun. I like the idea of that sort of setup. Um, but Forever is a really beautiful just palette cleanser before going into Bone Skull, which is a really beautiful track. These sort of like quieter tracks really sort of come up and hit you as a surprising feature on this album because you I originally came to it for the like sort of bangers like First Glass Beach album, no, first Classic J Dies, Bedroom Community, sort of like Neon Glow, Cold Weather, those sort of tracks. Um, I'm gonna have to keep referring to the track list because I'm tired and I keep forgetting things. Anyway, um, but songs like Bone Skull and especially Dallas. Um, I'll talk about that a bit later though, because I'll try to go through it a bit in order here. But Bone Skull is just such a beautiful, like very subdued track um, that I absolutely love. And the imagery that Jay manages to create with this is like absolutely beautiful. Like just like the imagery of standing still in front of these like scenery that you'd take in um you wouldn't even take in actually. No, you just ignore on your daily sort of life without being present. Um, it really gives this sort of sense of like real loneliness in a city that is built to house people. And I think that's also the sense with the bedroom community, like everybody stays inside all the time. I think it's really hard as a like as a queer person to find that community, and I'm struggling to find it. And I think finding that through things like the internet is a common experience for us, and I think that touches on in the album as well. Um, on tracks like um, Cold Weather, yeah, um, Cold Weather, like staring at the screen at 4 a.m. trying not to feel fall asleep. I think I've done that one too many times with somebody, and I'm sure many of you have as well. Many of my generation, at least, it's a common experience, like sleeping on the phone with somebody you care about, things like that. Um, and sort of realizing the scenarios in which you miss a place is not based on the place itself, but the people you're around in that time. Like, I'm often found trying to chase these sort of ideas in my mind of things that I used to really, really love when in reality it was the people that made them special. And I think that's very much a theme throughout this album is sort of saying like people are so important and you've got to take care of each other. And I think it's a lonely endeavor, but a rewarding one. Um, I don't think I touched on Neon Glow actually, but once again, Jay is just like really descriptive, beautiful writing about the world ending and falling in love with somebody, basically, which is what it constantly feels like sometimes um, with how things seem to be going. Um, yeah, and I think the real focal point of the album comes in with Last Beach, which is like a 7 minute long, um, really in depth track about finding comfort in the people who care about you when the ones who should be like your family sort of throw you aside and don't treat you with the respect you deserve. And it's despite the problems in the world, finding comfort in each other. And I think that's a really beautiful sentiment, because often you have to find comfort in people that you don't always have right by your side all the time. Um, just reading through the lyrics here. Yeah, things sort of like I'll sleep on a million couches and stuff like that. If we have to keep us both safe until we can take back the years they've stolen from us, we'll always live like we're hopeless kids. Yeah, and it's an incredibly sad realization, but I think once again it's finding comfort in the people you care about. Um, and then it gets on to a track Dallas, which I think is my favorite track instrumentally, at least. It's beautiful from start to end and such an interesting structure that at first I didn't really enjoy that much, but really has grown to be my favorite track over the years. It's had the most staying power in my mind. And yeah, I don't even know if any of what I'm saying is like all I do on this is ramble. I never script any of this, but I hope that it means something to somebody. Uh, maybe you haven't heard this album before, or maybe you have and just like to hear other people talk about your favorite things. But this is definitely one of my favorites. Yeah, so I think I'm very glad for buying this record. I can't wait to listen to it when I get back to be in front of my record player, and I will be listening to it often. Um, and I hope one day they come to the UK, or I manage to go to America and see them live because I would adore to watch that band do their shit. Because they're amazing at what they do, and um, yeah, it's great. So thank you to the band for very much making something that I love and so many other people love. And also thank you for putting so much effort into this release as well. I noticed there's a giant ass poster in here as well, which I'm going to be so excited to put up because I absolutely adore this cover. It's so beautiful. The colors are just phenomenal, and yeah, it's just great. I watched the making documentary of this at one point. It's like an hour, and I highly recommend it because it's really interesting. Um, and I find the fact that this was made with basically zero budget. The demos were all made by Jay, and then they compiled it all in a French studio, I believe. Um, and it's beautiful. It's very very beautiful. So yeah, if you haven't listened, check it out. Um, and I think I'd probably if we I don't know if I'm gonna do like a star rating or whatever, but I think probably if I had to give it one, I struggle to give out fives, but this would probably be nearing a five for me, if not a five. I think minimum like 4.5 out of 5, 9 out of 10. Or 10 out of 10. I'll have to re-listen again when I get this record spinning, and then I can give my official verdict because yeah, I love this album. It's very special to me, and if I could ever make a piece of art that is this diverse and eclectic and beautiful, I will be very, very happy. um, so yeah, thank you for watching today's video. Um, be yourself and love yourself. Let me know what you thought. Like, dislike, comment. Tell me how you feel about this album because I'm sure many people have stories connected to um, this music. I have many that um, I have of listening to in cold cars and long drives and in the middle of the night. You know, music is a very special thing, and I want to hear what you have to say. So, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again.